Good morning, everybody. Just first, relax yourself physically, mentally. Be here, and then take a deep breath. Inhale, and all your stress all just express out physically, both physically and mentally. Please inhale fully. And exhale. Inhale fully. Exhale. Inhale fully. And exhale. Okay. Also, first we will say opening prayers. So while you are chanting the prayers, please contemplate in the meaning. And then all the prayer texts are in front of you. Okay.
You want to see the whole.
Hold. Okay.
See the picture.
That's yes. Ga ne bra je ge tarba tam tam je tam chu bra je ba tam je so je ma yong da dam yin be sin je de wa da de ni no da de no da la ni Yonder by the Zogays and Zogays, the Dobra, Jibber, no Bra, Jibber, Doji, Bra, Jibber, the water, Yonder was obey John Jury, Jebeta, no bra, jebe, gay, Tarpan, Tom J, J, J, Man, Yamba, Yambe, Dewa, Dani, Dewa, Dan, you do run. yang的宝座被全球云多见破败家，上摩羯姐不拉的罗马也是给我来过，摩西不拉的罗马也是给我来过。对对人的送的年马上把上别不来，罗马也是给我来。当局不让这个当的了嘛，当把娘来干事情。也他妈进不了进了，所能来讲说情。上界正对对能来讲说情，当北去能来讲说情。他被定定能来讲说情。感觉去就是没错，也许就简单的把能来干事情。我当就不知这个把的老妈的把能来干事情。也当听不见老早能来干事情。上界中间的那个件事情，台北去那个件事情，台北变成那个件事情，把我看作是就是没错的，也是一正当的把路件事情。当局不让这被绑的老毛蛋把娘来家事情，杀人经过见了咱娘老家事情，上街上街的娘老家事情，台北去娘老家事情。我被真正能够认识钱，把我看着这种是没错，也是真正的老就是钱，世界吧，上街能够认识钱，是能在就是把也。过来的些就是去，去他们给的些钱，很多不明的吧，常说是给老板了，给他们钱的，也行着了变成的，常说是你的事，也是多年了吧了。一百姓多了半天，云不如去去不如，上天能够见世界，就当将就三八年，说了这些就是界，就当梦见这些，讲出多年结巴了，讲出现在了吧。得到人间灭八道，一心着了真正的，常做生命的结束，这些多年了吧了，人把心都了白结。世界不让上界能当件事情，就当成就是把你。说了这些讲述些，现在有的些，讲述童年的巴塔，讲述生的那个，在人生的巴塔。 So je zo na la zhang zhu pra do da ni ya si da ge zhe so ji be zo na zhou la bin zhen sang jian zhu pa li shu zhou de zhou ji zhou na ma zhang zhu pa di da ni ya si da ge zhe so ji be zo na sang jian zhu pa li shu la zhou ji zhou na ma zhang zhu pa di da ni ya si ta ge zhe so ji be zo na ge zhou la bin sang jian zhu pa li shu Yo be sim je dam je de wang dang de ye ju dang de ga ju dong ya da dong ya de ju dang de ju dong ya me be de wang dang mi de wa ju ni ren cha dang ni dang de we dang ni la mi de ju Moi nhưng bao đăng nhau bê dâm dê thầm dê đê hoa đăng bê vê đê bà đê rô đê ngà đô đô ngà đê đê đà đê hoa đê rô đê ngà mê bê đê hoa đăng mê đê hoa đê rô đê rê cha đăng nhê đăng đê Thank you. Yere chata ni dan jewe, ula ne ba joro zi. Age malu de dan dan je la, yu dan no ye dan ye cha ye ro. Zongbo je be ma no do dan ye, ya wa dan je ye de. Shigyu de ye de ra de ba ye, ya wa dan. Page 7. Na di niu sang je u na ju pa ta. Ke tra chi ji ye na ma li pa. Tam je ja wa ta ge ta wa mu. Te da na ba me se ja zo na. Yang je ye la ja zo jo bi. Yawa kunje yoge lakje yawa shina dangje dagin yando damba jowa damba tam sinya damba juba dunjo marme jodo dubu damba yawa de dangani juba Nanda damba nanda jijata, Sima pama rira nyabata, Kube chebra pabe jogedi, Yawa de gala yishemadi, Chuba tono lamye jacheva, Deda Jawa Dangye Ayaro Sambo Chula Debe Dogda Di Jawa Gula Changze Cheta Di Doja Sheta Demo Wange Deda Nada Deshi Degba Dage Jiba Chichi Tamje Dage Sosri Sha Toje Jawa Gudan Sadi Ranje Nanda Loda Melo Loa Dege Sodama Tangi Dada Gunje Jesu Daye Kana Jeju Jede Chanjo Rinpa Sanje Maje Gombo De Da De Damje Na Golo Ranga Mega Kola Nyanga Da Da Kashi De Da Loa Beze De Galba Shinga Dunye Shubaya La De Demo Rake Sora Changze Wada Chujin Shaba Jesu Wishes Kewa Juse Dage Jesa Tamje Zobe Chanju Chile Khenchen Island Bile olsun Dojechen Sonra Domen İşin kötü Kap O Bugün düdüş sosyal Bugün cevap masum dübesmiş O 찾아와 어디야 좀 seçmişim 제베제 조제 다든 레라레제 야데마 산제신라 네게고 조근난다 신도제가 용자라메 천이 신나산산 대신 다르롱제나세연신 라메 초게 모두자들 와다 주진샤나 제전 소와이 대왕 제세다게 제세 탐주 조배 자주 칭모 대와다게 소모다사나야 남계 상바대 요에 제다 제도 최종 도모대가이 최경 골대에서 어제저저저는 나무다 나절마의 동생들 나가고 동생들나 네베베데 도도도도 도베제다 제게다다 도베제다 고베베네 저도 동의제 저도 도매가 저는 그 고저서 제가 가는 길을 띄고 저도 되는 거 아무것도 바꾸는 생각 고저는 보존하고 저제 어쩌면서도 이제 뭐 모두 시간 뭐 그지도 되게 뭐 근데 남한테 그런 저제 가게 되지 되지냐 되지냐 저거 모르는데 또 그저 저도 가다 제주도 제주도 제주도 모르게 와서 어디도 어떤데 담배 주잖아. 그래서 먼저 버렸던 데시 도서 되던 저는 저는 어딘지는 도저 저는 뭐 어딘지는 남 틀었어. 저거 실제 저거 진짜 남도 이제 뭐는 뭐라니 말이라도 되고 돈도 뭐도 되는 게 아무도 저저 이제 도그라 주로 이제 Uh, today we are here at this uh, Drikung Dhamasuya uh, Center, and this 2 days, today, tomorrow, we will go through the special writings or teachings by Drikung DHARMAKIRTI, which is called the 35 pieces of heartfelt advice. So this is very precious. First, we should acknowledge this. It's not just being a Buddhist, as I usually mention. This is being reality nature. We all desire for peace and happiness. That's the universal. And we all desire to free from suffering. There's no question about that. Having said that, it's all as you see, doesn't happen just by saying some prayers. May I be happy. May I free from suffering. We say those prayers, but doesn't happen in that moment. Since that does not happen, we have to engage the cause for peace and happiness. We have to engage for the cause to free from the suffering. So in all fields, reality, nature, So, depending to the individual's ability, mental power, and they go through different topics, different subjects. As I say, just reminding, the business people, they involve business the way, economics the way, how to bring happiness in the world, in the individual's life. And this is the way how to free from all the suffering, undesirable conditions. And then there's a country many are involved in the politics, the policy making is the way how to get rid of all the cause of suffering and can bring together all the cause for peace, happiness in the individuals, in the country, or in the world. Then science, as you see, in the modern time, science is very important. Within that, the science is the reason that which empirically investigate through many way so that can solve all the problems. It's all about those things you see. As well as many people, millions and billions of people believe different religion. The religion is the way to bring peace, happiness. And there are also many who don't believe religion. So they think their way is the way to free from suffering and bring the peace and happiness. So there's so many things, especially depends on the individuals, we should say, inclination, individuals' way of thinking, way of understanding. All the education systems are developed also that the ignorance is the root cause of all the problems. So that's where they develop all the schools. When they go to school, let the children learn. Before there was a school, elementary school, college. Then slowly, you see universities, and then slowly, there's kindergartens. Now there are also pre-kindergartens, you see. As soon as the child can walk, and they're sent to, a different group, see, just all to learn, to give some educations so that their life is better off, make better life more happy, bringing, see, this you see. So you see, as accordingly, the Buddha's teaching is educational. But usually I describe or introduce, see, before Buddha became Buddha, he was called Siddhartha. And his father was successful man, Shuddhodana, very powerful. And because of being successful, powerful, and he has a small kingdom in the Himalayas. So Siddhartha was the only his son. So Siddhartha got excellent opportunity to go to school, educate everything, whatever exists at that time. And also he met many religious leaders, educated all the different types of religions that exist at that time. And he lived until 29. And his father has a great expectation that his son would be very powerful ruler of the country. So he arranged a beautiful wife. But Siddhartha, as a very educated, not only just educated, but also, should say, looking for everything, not just stay there, indulge the enjoyment, was, visiting the country occasionally. And because of that, he's looking people's life. Some are very rich, some are poor, some are educated, some are uneducated. They're different people. Some are young, some are old, some are dying, some are got sick. All he was looking himself as well. So if I become the leader of the country, I have to take care of all the people, how I can help to those people. So he investigated all these things, you see. And empirically, so at the end of the day, you see, you die without food, satisfaction, no matter what you did in your life. Being rich or powerful, himself, he was thinking, when I die, when I get old, how I have to handle. Right now, I'm young, very talented physically, mentally, I'm much well off than the rest of the people. I know so much. But still, when I get sick, how should I handle? When I get old, how should I handle? At that time, also, I will need happiness, peace, see. Especially when I die, then what happens is very mysterious. It's not so obvious, when you die, see. So by having this all kind of investigating all this, then he was not really satisfied staying in the kingdom. Listen, otherwise you see that what he got is like an author who can call a perfect life. No, he got such a beautiful kingdom, house, building, people are serving him, so much that everything just comes what he wished to. But he said, this is not the solution because this is impermanent. It changes. Because he met so many other, that time, masters, religious, there are some teaching how to be very ascetic life, to free from suffering. So he went through that also. Then, as you know, for 6 years, he left the kingdom and then went to another extreme, from the extreme enjoyment life to another extreme. There's nothing, no food to eat, no clothes to wear. I'm sure you have seen Buddha's body skeleton, just bone, nothing, See, from that rich, kingdom, prince went to such, another extreme hardship. That was also the solution. He went to all to that. So he thought, now I went to extreme other side. It's close to die. No food, no drink. Am I free from suffering? That kind of lifestyle didn't bring the answer what he's looking for. See. So then you see, since he didn't satisfy or didn't get the answer from that, he left that style because there's no final solution. Then he said, since we have this body, we have to eat just to survive. So then he started eating, but with the middle way. Too much doesn't help. Too little also doesn't help. So middle way, just to appreciate, rejoice in life. But then he was very seriously thinking, we need real the solution of the suffering. See, not just this is this tradition, this is this culture system, no, but he himself empirically contemplating, investigating. So finally, the mind is the one. or want to do something, or to, in the life, what we make decision is the mind. And the mind is very ambiguous, hidden subject. It's within us, but we cannot see it. We cannot touch it. I cannot see my own mind that what I have now. I think a lot. I want a lot. I don't want a lot. But what's that? Where it is? What is underneath? What's the reality about that, you see? So I have to understand that, realize that, reveal that is which is within in me, that everybody we have. It's not a religious belief, a cultural system. It's neither culture, nor religion. It's all where it is. What's within that? I want peace and happiness. What's that? I don't want the suffering. What's that? So, having that conviction, he was fully convinced about that, to know that, to have to understand the mental reality nature. So you see, then with the three training, I usually say, training of the morality, ethics, Shila, the training of the meditative state, Samadhi, and the training of the Praja, the special insight. What's support of that? Because that he also understood, if you if you want to cook, that time there's no electricity or gas, anything, you make fire from collecting the woods, kindle, and you make fire. So you need all these three, see. So all this, you need to get rid of all which that disturbs all this. Bring all this, like fire, the kindle, the wet kindle, all cannot burn the fire. Need and dry, all just right. So just bring together, make the fire. And then on the stove, you put the pot. And then whatever you want to cook, you need all those disciplines. How to cook and all this. Then you need, the mind. Just be mindful, be conscious about that. Otherwise, it can be burned or may not be cooked. So you need such a consciousness. Then you have to have wisdom, whether it's cooked or not cooked, right soul or not. So with that example, so to understand the mind, I need these three causes, conditions. So with that support of these three training, then see here, went to Bodh Gaya, I'm sure many of you went there, well, in such a strong determination, unwavering, unflinching devotion. And just because of that, then whatever obstacles comes, no any obstacles could disturb, could not impediment that practice. And then he attended the Buddhahood. See, it's called Buddha means awakening. Sang, in Tibetan, sang, sang is awakening. Awakening from the sleeping of the delusion and blossom to all the excellent qualities. then he was confident about that. He could declare, says, I attend that without. See. Now there's nothing is hidden. Everything is clear, obvious. Because he totally awakened from that state, and his mind and all the minds of sentient beings are there's no any difference. So there's calm, there will come the text. When you know one, then know everything. When you know your mind, then you know mind of every sentient beings. So he himself fully awakened means free from all the suffering and total peace and happiness is within him. Right now, we are looking for peace and happiness from outside, but you can find within him. So when he achieved that state, then without any fear, says, I'm free from all the suffering. So nobody could come say you are not free from suffering. When he said, declared, I know everything, then nobody could come say you don't know this. So he has no fear to say these things. On the basis of that wisdom and his compassion to all the sentient beings are such, we should say, a relentless compassion just rose in his mind. They all are like me, one desperate to free from suffering, then desperate to achieve peace and happiness. But because of this delusion that we have, it doesn't allow to have all this opportunity. Just for example, those alcoholic, they want real peace and happiness. They don't want suffering. Because you are being alcoholic, and they feel if you drink something, you feel so good. So they feel this is the way. I want to have happiness. But that drinking is only cause of suffering. Look at all in the samsara, in the world. Impartially look at everyone. Those we know, those we don't know, those we like, those we don't like, everybody, we all in the same boat. Doesn't matter what kind of language we speak, culture we have, belief system we have, but cause of the suffering is cause of suffering for everybody. So because of that explanation is such great indomitable compassion now manifests from that wisdom. And then he started giving teaching. When he was started giving teaching, you see, so I know everybody's desire to free from suffering. There's a cause of suffering. But he said, you see, I cannot wash your cause of suffering by the water. I cannot take away all your suffering by my hand. Say, touch your head and say, now your suffering is gone. Neither I cannot give you my realization of enlightenment, the awakened mind, because you have the mind. But what I can do is I can teach you these all methods, the suffering, cause of suffering, then how to get rid of the suffering. But you have to make effort. So he taught interdependence, you see. Everything is interdependent. Nothing functions independently. Everyone depends on something. It's very clear, Interdependent in Sanskrit, pratita bhata samuda. It's very profound. Everything constitutes whole, outer world, inner sentient beings is constituted within the framework of the interdependence, depending rising the calm. Something to have. What is happening is depend on something. And depending on that, then when there's causes condition, it rises the result, effect. So you see, look at in your mind and our mind. As soon as when you have some negative thought, anger, as soon as there's an anger manifests, even little bit, it makes your mind uneasy. See, when something going wrong and you're upset, at that moment, that is the condition. But because of the condition, gives some anger, upset, feeling not good. That brings to some mental uneasiness, not feeling well, mentally, physically, you see. When you have some sense of compassion to somebody else, at that time you feel your mind is ease, peace. You see, it's called interdependent. There's so many causes and conditions on that interdependence. So, Buddha, he taught that, you see, first, first the Four Noble Truths. Right at the beginning, he didn't teach this very high view for you, or this high deity yoga practice, powerful, help you all to solve the problem. But simply he taught how to understand the suffering. But foundation, you should know the suffering. We may say, yeah, I know suffering, You don't have to teach the suffering. I'm here, how to free from suffering. I know the suffering, But if you go through, there's more that we don't understand. Look, if you read the Jewel Ornament Liberation in that book, in the section of the suffering, you see, no, condition of suffering, suffering of change, and suffering of suffering, you see. We know the suffering of suffering. See. As I mentioned, when we get a headache, not feeling well, we don't get what we want, something were happening which, which we don't want. Aging, sickness, death, this all, they're suffering. They say, I want to get out of this, I know the suffering, but we don't know deeper suffering of change. Now, in the world, we look at you, see, everybody's looking. There's, the politics, the business estimation, doing something to achieve the suffering of change. Just contemplate more carefully. If I'm this way, I'm happy, then I'm so good, Just suffering of change. When I'm hungry, just example, I'm really hungry, you say, no, this is suffering, To get out of that suffering, what we're looking for, some dish, whether you cook or you go to a restaurant. So today's a group of people who are really suffering now. I'm big because I'm hungry. I didn't have good breakfast this morning. We have to go to a better restaurant and choose a good restaurant. And then you order a plate. Every bite you enjoy, you feel so good. So we're all looking for that, But then you get the first plate because you enjoy so much. You say, let's order the second one. Then you order second one and eat more and more. They start suffering, So that very which gives you joy, happiness, that itself becomes the cause of suffering. This kind of suffering of change. That's wisdom, you see. People don't know about that. Even they know about that, they don't allow to accept that. So we have to understand about that, meditate on that. That's called suffering of change. The next is called suffering of condition. See, this five skandha, what we have, is suffering of condition. Very subtle. We cannot accept that or don't know about that. Our body that have skandha, have aggregates, that what we have is the condition of the aging, the condition of getting sick, the condition finally die, and we don't get what we want. We get what we don't want because of this five skandha, the five aggregate about this is this. So Buddha talked very detailed about these things. Metta, Tongya, Tong Tame, this is very impermanent. This is a state of suffering. This has no self. This doesn't have self. We are holding self, See, it's all like a mirage. When I say these things, maybe we don't like it. He makes our life miserable or negative, and it's not that, But if we can understand that, if we can practice that, then real peace, joy, happiness can bring from that. You can see that because it's reality. Then what's the cause of that? Buddha said, should understand the suffering and avoid the cause of suffering. Cause of suffering is these three portions, mental portion, the ignorance, attachment, aversion. When they exist within us, then we create the karma. From this mental affliction and the karma, then brings all the cause in the world, individually and at large, universally. It's amazing, isn't it? You see, just contemplate, you see. It's mentioned Buddha, who in enlightenment, Bodhgaya, and that area, he taught this Dharma, that area. Now, over 2,000, about 600 years ago, taught those teachings. What are the causes of suffering? What are the causes for peace and happiness? And in this 21st century, still so fresh. We are having a hard time to understand and hard time to practice. Otherwise, you see, they're all just what Buddha taught, so fresh. So during this whole, how much things changed? Belief system, culture, way of living, how much things have changed, you see, you can imagine. But the cause of suffering and cause for peace and happiness, what Buddha taught, has never changed. If we have more, the mind, the deeper mind we have, then, see, empirically investigate, go through, reflect. So to do this, there are three things you see. Hearing means studying, reading, listening, studying, all this, what are they? And next, contemplation, investigate. And then third, put into practice. Your hearing, contemplation can give you some understanding, not all. Your real understanding will come through the practice. When you put into practice, meditate there, then you see, yes, it makes sense. So these three portions mentioned, this is our own responsibility to purify. That's what Buddha means. I cannot watch your negative emotions. So Buddha comes here, bring a vase, pour on your head, So I will wash all your delusions. that doesn't happen, But Buddha will teach you about that. And we have the responsibility how to do that. And when we could do this, then you see, you really appreciate. In the absence of these three portions in the mind, real kind of fearless types of peace and happiness will experience. That's the definite. In the world, not just only human beings, even animals, insects, we all suffering from these three portions. So just reflect on this. So these are just introduction today and tomorrow we are going through. So there are 35 verses. And this also taught how to practice, how to put into practice. Okay. And there's a lot of intellectual system debating with the logic system or dialectic system, a lot of system of debating to investigation. So you have to investigate, through your own mind, all this, you have to get that. There are a lot of system that, yes, that's good thing, but that doesn't will help us to get rid of our cause of the suffering. Only we can get opportunity to the peace and happiness when we take care of these cause of sufferings are meant to not exist. It's all this kind of illusion which will come true. So I'll read instead of talking too much. You have the text here. The writer was also enlightened master. Okay, it's called Drikung. He was such a great teacher. Very great teacher. He's a great scholar as well. His writing volumes, there are 15 or 16 volumes he has writing. All different texts, poem, history, and Buddhist philosophy, meditation practices, both Sutra and Tantra. He met, there's one, he also wrote a Konchog text. Then he wrote also the 6 years Narupa's commentary, beautiful. Yes, the writer was highly accomplished in the meditation as well as his scholarship. So now I'll read here, first, when we do this, as I mentioned, so our focus should be not just to get some understanding, okay? Our focus is this precious human life that I have. I will make every effort to free from entire samsara, to achieve complete enlightenment. Maximize your mental state, not just final, some simple peace, happiness, the final solution of all the suffering. That's our focus. That cultivate that mind, not just ourselves, but for all the sentient beings, Because Buddha taught this all for all the sentient beings. As you know, when we say the prayers, all the mother sentient beings may have happiness and causes of happiness, you see. But they didn't say, my followers. But they didn't say, who believe me, they may have happy. Buddha said, every sentient being. So we should follow that. Because our mind is, as mentioned, very vast. This outer space, outer space is infinite. Nobody has found yet where this outer space ends. Likewise, inner space, our inner space. Outer space is no conscious. There's no consciousness, the outer space, but infinite. The inner space is consciousness, also infinite. Okay. So this we have to exercise our inner space. So now read first. You who have perfected the cultivation, the true accumulations, and is now carrying the burden of loving kindness for infinite beings, and have been appointed as a chief of the exalted activities of all victories. To you, good Guru, powerful Vajradhara, and for strength. So first paying homage to his teacher, who his teacher is to say true accumulations. True accumulation of merit and accumulation of wisdom. That relates to the relative truth, absolute truth. Relative truth, all things that exist in the world is relative truth. Everything's related, as mentioned, interdependent. The great scientist, what's his name? Who found the relativity statement? Einstein. So Einstein, he discovered, should say, the philosophy of the nature of the relativity. So he became very famous. See, the founder of the relativity, the science, Because of that, he said everything functions in the relative state, and everything not exists independently. So quantum physics theory, emptiness, so relativity. When you say, just example, this, what do you call this? Is a short or long? What do you say? Is it short or long? How do you like to say, short or long? You can say it depends. Okay. If you make it shorter, this is a long. Okay. Let's say this is a long compared to this short. And if you say this is a long, then like this, then this is short. You see, that's kind of relative. It's depends, So because of that, it shows you this being long is empty when it comes longer. It's empty, And this being long, short, is empty when you come the shorter. This is become long when this short. This become short when it becomes longer. You see? So that's how you can say emptiness. Doesn't mean it's not exists, nothing exists, but there's no independent, short or long. When there's a good, say good is really good. When there's a better, good is not good. See, good is bad, good is better. You see, so being good is empty when there comes better. And then when there's a worse, so bad, when there's a worse, bad is not so bad because there's worse. So this is called relative state. It's called interdependent. You see? So That's called relative state. Okay? Within the understanding of this relative state, and you just do all those good things, the cause for peace and happiness, doing all those good things is they call merit. When you understand the nature of that, very nature itself is emptiness, is wisdom. So the accumulation of merit, accumulation of wisdom. So you fully understood that, means purify all mental obscurations and developed all the wisdom and compassion from that. That's what refers, perfected the cultivation of the true accumulations. Okay. So, and is now carrying the burden of loving kindness, infinite loving kindness for infinite beings. Since you have perfected this wisdom of the interdependent, fully awakening out of your that wisdom, compassion, yes. And you can carry the burden of the session being suffering. So what I can do, how I can help. Like the Buddha is mentioned when he was 35, attained Buddhahood and taught the Dharma teachings for 45 years. All the complete teachings. From then, now, you just imagine how many are benefited, see, in the world. So many, with the different levels of the individuals. When Buddha attained Buddhahood, he didn't say, "No, I become Buddha. I deserve this and that. Now I should have such a beautiful temple, beautiful in these things." He didn't build big temples, all this. Just went place to place, give teachings, reflecting on the people, and gathering sanghas, and then he gives all the more advanced teachings. And you see, look at those places. He just sat on the rocks and give teachings. Like Milarepa, Milarepa, he attained Buddhahood, but when he met Kampupa, he said, we'll welcome Kampupa, this great scholar, teacher. So I sit on this rock, and you, Rachel, sit on this side, and you, she will sit here. We welcome the monk, from Central Tibet. So these great teachers, they built responsibility to share the wisdom to all sentient beings. So this like that. So see, carrying the burden of loving kindness for infinite sentient beings. So we should feel so grateful. They live their life so simple. And having been appointed as the chief of the exalted activities of all vector means carry on the activities of the Buddha benefiting sentient beings, every sentient being. It's so precious, you see. We open our eye, wisdom eye, see this and appreciate yourself. I'm so fortunate having connected this, and I follow that life after life until I become the enlightened one, until I awaken, means until I purify all my mental delusions. To you, root guru, powerful Vajradhara, Here, powerful means with ability, not just power, ruling power, no? It's a powerful man, it's not that. Here, power means with the ability to help others through the wisdom, through the compassion, through the skillful means. So, Vajradhara, the highest, the Buddha who achieved the Dharmakaya. So I prostrate to you, I pay homage to my road to Guru. You know? So Dharma, this Dharmakirti, he respects, appreciates by understanding these teachers' qualities. Then next, from beginningless time until now, we have wandered in samsara due to the power of the deluded ignorance, driving about helplessly by the winds of afflictive emotions, not finding the authentic path of virtue. So we are this is writing, why he's writing this text. You see, here. See, look at you now. We all in the samsara. Anybody in the samsara. Human beings, non-human beings, the sentient beings, the six realms, we all are equally. We're in the wandering in the samsara, as you see. Ignorance. Plus, deluded means confusion. The confusion, ignorance, these two are separate. Confusion, we're confused. Plus, there's no something independently exist, ego. As a relative state, ego or I, we should say I, self, this is just relative state. This is just label. Even Buddha who enlightened, so when I teach, when I go, these followers of mine, we can use the terminology. Without that kind of relative state of the label, we cannot communicate. So you cannot say, bring the chair or sit on the chair, let's have a lunch, This is all relative state. But we have in our mind, ourself, something independent, me, something very concrete, something substantial. If somebody says something bad about you, brings the pain in your heart. See? So why you are saying this? You are such a deluded person. What have I done for you, That kind of the ego that we have is not exist. When you are grasping on that, it's called confusion. That's called delusion. When deluded. And you see, then that brings to suffering so much. See, that brings to suffering. So that's why that kind of ego is, should say, is the source of our suffering. That kind of does not exist. So I is when I was 10 years old, when I was 20 years old, and this is mine, this is yours with this, with this, And then, so actually, when when I'm 10 years old, now look at totally different. But I'm holding, so this is me when I was 10. You know, how much delusions we have, you see. And that comes from the ignorance. So when there's that kind of ignorance is there, then there comes the attachment. There comes the aversion. So these three poisons, they work together so well. And then we create all sorts of karma, cause. That's how we wander into samsara. So look at things as a Dharma practitioner who are interested. These are so important to understand. These are basic, We are trying to get rid of the cause, root cause of the suffering. Otherwise, you chant some mantra, use some melodies, enjoy, the retreat was so good, so pleasant, We never touch to the cause of the suffering, how to get rid of it. Sometimes that brings us more cause of suffering. Then we do, we say chanting mantras, this deity is so powerful to protect you, this art was so powerful, it protects you from all the harm. Then we protect our ego, We put the ego in the center, all the deities around it, Instead of dismantling the root cause of the suffering. Make sense? This is called wisdom, okay? Very important while we're studying Dharma. That's a great teachers established with this wisdom. They studied from the great teacher, and then they studied, and they went, like Milarepa. You see, just Milarepa's life is so vivid, so clear. Marva he was so great scholar because he met Naropa, Matipa, many great masters, highly enlightened masters. And he went through great hardship, Marva. He learned himself, translated from Sanskrit to Tibetan. And that teachings are taught to Milarepa. You see, Milarepa tortured. What? Marva doesn't want to torture Milarepa. Why? He get nothing, Marva, get nothing by torturing Milarepa. Not only that, the people outside, they're saying, Marva is crazy, Say, this man, he's torturing this man, Why he's doing that? But wow, so courageous, brave. He doesn't look for his fame, reputation, whether people praise him or blame him, But he's doing things how to help. So Milarepa learned from that so much from Marva's teaching. That's how Milarepa met the history, So we also should do that. This teaching is touching the root cause of the suffering. That's very important. Yeah. So that we have wandered in samsara, see, due to the power of deluded ignorance. That's why we should get rid of this. But to get rid of this, we have to understand it. What's delusion? What's the ignorance, you see? Okay. Otherwise, I say, very nice, so wonderful, so good, it's just say these things. We never touch the root cause of the suffering. We never learn. We never get the message. You study, practice Dharma for 5, 10 years, 20 years, you give up because nothing is changed in your mind. See, when we could do this, get rid of, touch the root cause of the suffering, get rid of these things, and then you feel so grateful. It's not easy, but we can do it because that you have to understand. In the Uttara Tantra said, our the delusion is called adventitious obscuration. You know the word adventitious, temporary, moving around like cloud. Met in the Uttara Tantra, she mentioned this adventitious obscurations are like cloud. They're like the cloud. And see, it's very temporary. The cloud comes and goes, doesn't stay there all the time. Like this, our mental afflictions, they come and go, you know. Then, when the cloud occupies, you cannot see the moon or sun because the cloud occupies the space. It's obscured the sun and moon. We don't see the reflection of the moon or sun. As soon as when these clouds of the mental afflictions are there, our mind becomes dark. With a strong attachment, you see. Then we just run after the attachment. With this strong anger, we run after the anger. See, there's no peace. We just suffer. We suffer from that. But this is very temporary. Say, the obscurations of the mental afflictions and the knowledge is like a cloud. So we should understand first, because they are impermanent. Their nature is emptiness. Like as when we breathe in, out, relax there. And when this time the mental affliction is not there, you say how peace you feel. But as soon as the mind this mental affliction occupies the mind, then there's no peace and happiness. Okay. But this kind of way, how to get rid of our inner walls calm. You cannot get this kind of method from outside, because nobody knows how these mental afflictions exist. As I mentioned, nobody knows how complicated they are. So they never touch. It is, but the teaching here, what is taught, teaching, look at that. And the latter will come, practice of loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, and practice of emptiness. When we have those, these mental afflictions have no place. But they cannot function. See. Okay, it rooted driving. Then through this, we created karma. Driving about helplessly by the winds of afflictive emotions and not finding the authentic path of virtue. Here, virtue means empirical method, not just virtue. Gyawa means direct cause, how to handle these mental afflictions. Because I'm sure you have heard of root virtue. Root virtue means a virtue, a method that can help us to uproot this mental afflictions. And then by the wind of helplessly by the wind of afflictive emotions driving, this has such a profound meaning. We are under the slave of these mental afflictions. See, that's just example. There's somebody who doesn't like you, irritates you, take advantage of you. That time you have such strong resentment. And then that resentment, outrage you have, but resentment. And then that anger tells you what to do to harm that individual, to get rid of that individual. And you just always, yes, that's right. Yes, I will do that. Yes, you are right. So we are enslaved by this anger. And there's no peace. There's no happiness. Even you cannot enjoy your delicious meal. You cannot enjoy your beautiful house. See? Likewise, attachment. When you have a pernicious desire, attachment, then to fulfill that will tell you what to do, what not to do, you know? And you just follow by the advice of your pernicious attachment. We are enslaved by that. So we are driving by the winds of the mental affliction. So these mental afflictions, you see, are within us 24 hours. We are suffering from these within 24 hours. Sometimes we'll take rest. Sometimes we're so stressed. And sometimes we will become so helpless. No, and so we just become suicidal. There's no sense of peace, life, so heavy. And when you look at this, people are suffering so much from this. It's not a Buddhist idea, a culture, the culture of the samsara, the culture of the ignorance. Make sense? Anybody agree with me or disagree with me? If you disagree with me, just know we can discuss. I'm just talking, just throwing. I don't know. I'm like a blind person just talking. And then if you like or don't like, I don't know. If you disagree, just let me know, no? Then we can communicate. We can have a dialect, But here, what they say with this, look at these. When these are purified or reduced, you feel so joyful. You feel so light, really, spacious. When you go outside, you get space outside. You enjoy, beautiful weather. And you can smile with others. When these mental afflictions occupied our mind, we cannot smile. People become ruthless because of this. Those ruthless people, they want peace and happiness. They don't want suffering. But because of the overpower, this mental afflictions. So that's this here, say, Dharmakirti is writing this, why we need to study, practice Dharma. Not because of we believe this, not because of culture this, not because of we want to turn. It's just because to convert into somebody else, something else. Okay. Next. So there, as mentioned, this is why he's writing about this. Now next he said, just as a turtle in the middle of an ocean, getting its neck right through the hole of a yolk. Say, suppose there's a big leg, big, huge leg. Inside there's a turtle. And on the surface of the leg, there's a yolk going round, left and right, back and forth, So in the middle of that, the turtle is blind. Somehow the turtle's neck is in the hole, so getting into the hole of the yolks, By the power of merit, we have now gained and embodied with leisure in endowments. So this is showing, first of all, how difficult it is. The turtle's neck, getting in the hole of the yolk. So difficult. Something like impossible. With that example, to have this precious human life is very difficult. By the power of the merit, for many lifetimes, you have accumulated enough merit to come together interested in your Dharma teachings. Again, a body with leisure and endowments. Leisure means you have time to come here. We're so busy. I want to go there. I have to go there. I have this work. I have that. I have children to see. I have grandchildren to see. I have to go to vacation. There's so many reasons we have very difficult to have time to come here, sit here. Even those who are interested. See? So leisure means who has time to study, practice. And endowment means having the conditions now who can talk Dharma teachings. So part Buddha taught the Dharma teachings. And that Dharma teaching continues in the world. And there's a teacher, there's a place. If we don't have this kind of place, there's no place to come. So there's a place. They met this special occasion. And they invited me like me, so give talk on these things. Oh, this coming together is called endowments. So the leisure and the endowment is not easy to get together. So do not squander it away, but the whole of its essence. So don't waste it. Don't waste your best opportunity, because this is not something easy. If somebody is going to get 1 billion, how precious that opportunity is. We'll try everything not to waste that opportunity, isn't it? This is more than that. To free from samsara, to achieve complete enlightenment. It's not something easy. Because we have been coming in the samsara earlier mentioned for so many lifetimes. You can just reflect. What went wrong? Still I'm in the samsara. What happened? So here, this precious human life, what we have, never waste it. Make it every effort to use it. No. Here you can, it's just a mission, impermanence. Reflect on the impermanence. Even though we have this precious human life, but so impermanent. Your breath goes out and it doesn't come back. We're so fragile. We may say, oh, clinically, I went to doctor checkup. My heart is good, my kidney is good, my stomach is good. I'm okay, you know. But that's not guarantee. So look at how life is so fragile, young or old. So that's why Milarepa said, I escaped the mountain by the fear of the death. Because I dare not waste this precious human life without practicing Dharma. So while I'm in the mountain, I didn't stay there and say, now I'm in the mountain, I'm relaxed. But I practice persistently for 24 hours. I meditated consistently, persistently, by reflecting on the uncertainty of the death. So I captured now he said, I captured the deathlessness nature of the emptiness, wisdom. Now I'm free from all the fear of the death. If the death come anytime, see. So this is mission, this human life, what we have, has every potential to free from samsara, to achieve enlightenment. Just say, a very smart dog, a dog which police use. Say, dog, you come here, you sit down and you practice Dharma to free from samsara. And the dog has no idea. Dog is looking at you, maybe will give a piece of bone. So precious human life is not like that. We have such ability, capacity to attain complete enlightenment. I mean, in other words, we have every opportunity to discard our mental affliction, the delusions. That's what we're talking about. It's not something that easy because we are so habituated to mental afflictions. Like me, I reflected. There's no ego. Ego does not exist anywhere outside, inside. We are party there with the mind, how much I think about that, still my ego is there, If somebody says something, which I dislike, I'm not happy, See, it's because it's the habit. The habit is deeply rooted that we have to purify, the batteries, because okay. So we reflect the precious human life that I have in my hand. I cannot buy this from inner outside. It's the product of my own great practice in the past life that I have. I'm so fortunate. It's very important to reflect that. I'm fortunate. See, nobody can give me this until I earn by myself. You appreciate yourself. You rejoice yourself. Feel happy about that. So Dharma practice is always you have to understand how to practice joyfully with the appreciation. With the appreciation, we practice Dharma. Rejoice yourself. Yeah. So do not squander it away, but take hold of its essence. To take advantage of this is my heart advice. Heart advice start from here. This heart advice is means sincerely. He's saying his heart is giving to us. We have to take it. We don't waste it. Okay. Then next he said, number 2, since even after obtaining a human body, this precious human life, meeting with the victor's Dharma, victor's doctrine is Dharma, Buddha Dharma, is difficult, and even hearing the sound Buddha in this world is difficult. While having this opportunity to train in the sublime Dharma, he taught to practice diligently is my heartfelt advice. See, this advice is so precious, very sincere, very direct. Having this precious human life is not a guarantee. To meet the Dharma teachings, Buddha Dharma, meeting the victor's doctrine, Buddha Dharma, is so difficult. Look at in the world, how many people in the world, and how many who are following Buddha, who are studying, who are practicing, very few. So you appreciate, we should feel, I'm so fortunate. See? Even hearing the sound Buddha is difficult. When you hear the sound Buddha has such a great blessing, because Buddha is not something ordinary. Attain Buddhahood out of perfection of the wisdom and compassion. Compassion means the blessing to all the sentient beings. When they hear Buddha's name, Buddha, then it connects to the Buddha. It connects to your Buddha nature. So precious. That's why when you get this kind of opportunity to study, practice Dharma, never waste it. Say, diligent means joyous effort. Practice diligently is my heart heartfelt advice means Dharmakirti sincerely want every sentient beings free from samsara. He wants everybody achieve complete enlightenment, Buddhahood. So, sir, I give this my heartfelt advice. You take it in the heart. I must practice this while I'm alive. Even I live one day, even I live 1 year, I must practice Dharma. And I'm so fortunate. Cultivating will later come. Cultivating bodhicitta. Such a precious thing. See. Then next, when you have met a qualified guru who is difficult to meet, respectfully serve the guru by means of 3 modes of blessing as the taste of the elixir of guru's pit instruction is sublime. To cherish this is my heartfelt advice. Here said, qualified guru, authentic teacher. It's very when you read, if you read Jewel Ornament of Liberation in the section of the spiritual master, described different qualities of that guru or teacher should have. There's one which is 4 qualities. One is the has the vast of Buddha's teaching, sutras, writings, commentaries, Buddha's teaching, and the later commentaries by like Nagarjuna, Asanka, great teachers. They're kind of vast scholarship. Then who has the ability to dispel the confusion if somebody asks the question. Cutting all the doubts. And then that individual, that guru, has a pure conduct, without any kind of say samsaric kind of development, pure conduct. Because of that, you can totally trust and follow. Then the 4th one is one has a skill who can show you what are the cause of samsara and the result of that, and what are the cause for the enlightenment, and what is the enlightenment is, can explain. These 4 qualities are very important. Who has these 4 qualities, then that master has the ability to show you the path that can help you to free from samsara. It's a quotation from the Sutra Alankara. So anyhow, yes, qualified guru is difficult to meet, to find. See, it's not the title, it's the quality. One may have any types of title. Nowadays, titles are not so difficult. But quality It's difficult to find. Very rare. So that you look at the qualities of the teacher. Once you found it, cherish. They said, respectfully serve the Guru, that who has that kind of qualities by the means of the three modes of blessing, offering the necessary things, service, whatever needed the service, especially practicing the Dharma teachings that he or she taught. That's the most important. What was said, Milarepa, what if I said, he followed, he said. All what I said, he followed. That's why I gave him all the teachings. So, studying, practicing. Practicing means, as earlier mentioned, reducing all, purifying all our mental afflictions. It's not that how much you chant the mantra, hundreds of millions of mantras. You may be done so many frustrations, or you may be done a lot of other things. But if our mental obscurations are not touched, not purified, then what's the purpose of Dharma? It didn't bring the Dharma's benefit. So we have to purify all mental obscurations. As I mentioned, more we purify our mental obscurations, then you feel so peaceful. Your eyes, you can smile. No expectations, no fears. All can come within in the mind. So, mode of pleasing, as the taste of the elixir of the Guru's pit instruction is sublime. So that teaching that Guru gave you is the pit instruction that will transform you, like the alchemy all the metals can turn into the gold. That teachings like bodhicitta or other practices that Guru gives you, the teacher gives you, you can transform from the samsaric being to the enlightened being. No. The teaching you bring into the heart. All your mental negative, afflictive emotions, delusions, ignorance, just purify, release them. Totally obliterate your mental affliction by these pit instructions. Darshan is sublime. So cherish this is my heart and my advice. So cherish these pit instructions that you received. Never waste it. We can go one more. Oh, this has a lot of things now we have to talk about here. The root of all good qualities and foundations of all trainings is to accept the three jewels as a supreme refuge. All their instructions, both coarse and subtle, without exceptions, to hold them dear as your own life, is my heartfelt advice. The root of all good qualities and foundation of all trainings. Roughly, I mentioned these three training: the training of the morality, the training of the samadhi, the training of this praja, or moral ethics, meditative karma biting, and the intrinsic cognition or wisdom awareness. That's the also training of the foundation for all. To have that, as just also as I mentioned, the Four Noble Truths that Buddha taught. Look at the suffering of samsara, all the details. Reflecting on suffering, sometimes people think it is something negative. You know? Oh, don't talk so much about the suffering, and I know the suffering. You know? Please, talk something else, different. You know? But more reflecting on the suffering of samsara, that give us great practice of compassion. Compassion lies in the mind, reflecting to the suffering of samsara. And when you reflect on the suffering of samsara, then there we can take care of the cause of the suffering. What are the cause of the suffering? Then look at all the cause, different cause. Don't do this. If you do this, it will happen like this. If you do this, this will happen, So I must take care of the cause of the suffering. So in other words, how to become a better human being for yourself. How to be peaceful yourself. How to feel good for yourself. And then you share with others. And then all the families you have, they all become so friendly each other. Otherwise, in the family, they quarrel each other, fight each other, because of the mental afflictions. When you have real skill, wisdom, compassion, you share skillfully, all the family members, they all appreciate you. They all respect you. So these are by reflecting on the cause of the suffering. This is okay time. It's after 12. It's okay. It's okay? Oh, everybody can accept? Because I don't want to against your wish. I told this story before, and many of you know, because I met you before. There was a mother who died her child. She could not accept her child's death. Could not. So at that time when Buddha was there were so many other gurus, teachers there. They are very famous, some are. So she has some kind of feeling that if there may be some powerful guru, teacher can bring the life of my child back, becomes kind of survive or alive, So she has that kind of strong feeling and went around to all different teachers that she heard of. Nobody could help her. Finally, she went to Buddha. So then she cried. Many days I haven't had food, sleep, because my child has died. I cannot accept this. Buddha, please help me to bring back the life of this child. Otherwise, I cannot accept. So Buddha, with such great compassion and understanding, child is dead. It's now what you can do. But the mother needs all the help. Buddha saw how much she's going through, agony, full of pain. She feels she's the only one who's suffering in the world. She feels everybody is so happy, joyful. I'm the only one in the hell realm. No? So Buddha saw that nature. So Buddha was thinking how I can help her. So with such a great skill, Buddha said, "This you go around to this small village, house to house, try to get a handful of grain, a house from where nobody died." When she heard of that, she was so excited. I'm sure I can find a house that nobody died. And today I have the day to see my child alive. So then she rushed to house to house to house to house. And everybody expresses their suffering, the missing of their family. Some died, their father, mother, grandfather, their brother, sister, child, She couldn't find any house, see. And well, she kind of became hopeless. At the same time, she felt so light. Said, no, I'm not the only one who's suffering. Now I can see they all are suffering. They miss their family. No. So you see, I'm not the only one who's suffering. Kind of there's some individuals, they express so sorrow, agony, pain, and she was hearing those. And from that, she kind of felt developed some compassion. Where she is suffering, no. So then when she came back to Buddha, she said, see, I haven't found any house that nobody died. Buddha said, you see, this reality nature. Even your child is bring back, one day he will die, and you will die. One day I will die. You have to accept this. You should do something better than this. Release your attachment. Buddha said, this is the attachment you have. And the attachment doesn't do any good for the child and doesn't do any good for yourself. It only bears the suffering. You should understand that. So Buddha's such a great way of explaining with such a compassion, wisdom, skill. She totally understood and she accepted that. See, so Buddha didn't make her happy bringing the life of the child, but Buddha taught how to accept what we're going through, you see. That's how to free from the suffering, you see, that we have to do this. Otherwise, I'm sure Buddha has a skill of great miracle power. Yes, so, somebody's life bring back, to the child. So your child is here, and she's very happy. But we cannot do that. No? But how Buddha taught is that everyone can do this and can free from suffering. So release the attachment. So attachment is not easy. It is such a pernicious, a habit, very difficult to get rid of. Needs a lot of mindfulness, awareness, skill, meditation, purify. That doesn't mean don't care others. Sometimes people say, You are talking, don't attach, that means you don't care. People say that. No, it's not that. No. Attachment and caring is two different. You care as much as you can, as Buddha did, but don't attach to. Sometimes when you release the attachment, you can care better. You can help others better. Out of attachment, you are holding, grasping, and then brings more suffering, more confusion. But out of wisdom, compassion, you care. It brings such great benefit. The others will appreciate. Rejoice that. Now, we stop here. Maybe you're hungry. I'm hungry too. Okay, first, please inhale. Okay, relax your body. Be here. The past is past. What I talk about something, I'm sure you have heard of this many times in the past, but it's all just to refresh, reminding. Okay. The teaching is just to remind. We need to remind repeatedly every day in our life. So just remind. So this morning, what I said something, if I said something wrong, just get rid of it. Don't attach to it. And if I said something useful, reflect it. Bring into your mind. Just I will practice this. And so please inhale fully and exhale all stress. Once more, please inhale fully. Exhale. Once more, please inhale and exhale. And I'm watching it in the Monday. Watching that you know. What's more doing one? Okay, here. Please, if you have this prayer booklet, page 159, you say shop. By the virtues collected in the three times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Drikung Mashi, whose omniscient Lord of Dharma, master of interdependence, continue to increase through study, practice, contemplation, meditation, until the end of samsara. Okay, thank you. And have a good lunch, relax. And then we come back at 2, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 o'clock.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, you sit there.
Yes.
Normally it's our BPSC routine. We're gonna have a group photo on the first day of the teaching. If you don't mind, you sit there, everybody gather, you make a group photo of everybody.
Okay.
If everybody can gather up around Rinpoche, and then we have a group photo, and then we have lunch. Yeah.
Here.
Okay.
Mark. I see Mark and Demilia. James Dean. Oh, so all very old friend. These all are very old friend.
Yes, Khenchen.
Yes, so James Deans I met in the early 80s. Mark and also Demilia, early 80s. They are aging, I'm aging. Okay, yeah, come. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, they have to do it, shoot there. Yeah.